You have been waking up wrong. Let me show you how to do it right. So I have constructed and put together my 5 most holy tips of waking up properly. Okay, these are the holy scrolls of waking up properly. And let's start with step 1. First of all, most people say that you need around 8 hours of sleep, which is consistent with this 5 full cycles theory, which states that you have sleep cycles. One full cycle is 1.5 hours, which makes 7.5 hours. Here's the math. If you want to wake up at, let's say, 5 a.m., how are you going to calculate that? Very easy. When you sleep at 10 p.m., the first cycle is completed at 11:30. The next cycle is completed at 1 a.m. The next cycle is completed at 2:30. The next cycle is completed at 4 a.m. And the next cycle is completed at 5:30 a.m. Which means if I sleep at 10 p.m. this night, I can wake up at 5:30 a.m. That's quick maths. And believe me, if you schedule your alarm clocks this way, it will make much more sense. And by the way, don't forget to also calculate the time that you need to fall asleep, because mostly that's the reason why people say 8 hours of sleep and not 7.5 hours, because you probably need 15 to maximum 30 minutes to fall asleep. Calculate smartly is the first tip. The second tip, some people literally challenge themselves. I don't know what they think, but like they have a dark room full of blue light, the computer blasting with blue light. You're not going to sleep like that. Okay, it's not like you need warm light. You don't need blue light. Put like screen protectors on, limit blue light. You have the settings. You can change the blue light to warm light on the iPhone, on the laptop. You can make these adjustments and settings. Okay, limits blue light exposure at the night. It's going to fix your sleep. No caffeine. Okay, I've been in discussions with people, and they told me, look, I drink caffeine every single day and every single night, and I have no problem falling asleep. That's what you think, because you have never had a day without caffeine. And if you had a day without caffeine, you probably had a crash because you're so used to caffeine, or basically you're addicted to caffeine, which makes you feel like you actually slept worse without caffeine than with caffeine. So if you want to drink caffeine, drink it in the morning until noon, latest like 1 or 2 p.m. That's like maximum. Other than that, you should not drink any caffeine. I know many people do. Many people drink coffee, caffeine, Red Bull at evenings, and I really think that's really unhealthy and you should not do it. Anyway, that's just how to wind down, and you do you. Next tip about winding down is having no heavy meals at dinner. Like for me personally, I have my most heavy meal at noon, okay, at lunchtime, alhamdulillah. That is the time where I literally have like a full meal. Other than that, I don't have a full meal at dinner or in the morning for breakfast. I literally just snack at dinner and have like a protein shake, because at evenings I usually schedule my strength training and shower and stuff like that, so I wind down like this. And also that brings me to my next point, which is showering. Dude, showering in the evening is so much better than showering in the morning. There are so many benefits to that. First of all, you feel just fresh, you feel refreshed, you feel wind down, you feel like the whole day is being washed away with your shower at the end of the day. And the second reason is because your muscles literally loosen up, so it actually supports your sleep. And number 3, your sheets become way more clean, like for more weeks than if you would sleep without showering and showering in the morning. I was a person who always used to shower in the morning. Now I'm a person that showers in the evening, and I still feel fresh when I wake up. I make wudu, I still feel fresh during the day, and at the evening I do my strength training and I go to shower, and it works all perfectly well, alhamdulillah. That is the reason why I personally prefer to shower at the evening. I think the benefits just overweigh clearly the benefits of instead of, showering in the morning. So that's why I shower at evening. And it also helps you to relax. And also mentioned that I personally do my strength training at the evening, but here's an important caveat. I usually do it at like 6 p.m. and now I'm even pulling it more forward. And the reason why I schedule it this way is because if you are doing a strength training, which is really heavy, like I'm not talking about like stretching or something like that, right? If you're doing a training or a workout right before you go to sleep, like 1 or 2 hours before going to sleep, that's really questionable, because you will have a cortisol spike and an adrenaline spike when you are working out, which means that your body is not really in the state of relaxing. It's more activated and energized. That's why I prefer to at least have 3 hours before going to sleep. So if I plan to sleep on like 9 p.m., let's say, I plan to have my workout latest at 6 p.m. But again, this is like the latest time that you can have a workout. All right. Number 3. This is really important, okay? If you ignore all of the other points that I've just mentioned, make sure that you follow number 3. And this is called the 2 no-goes upon waking up, because there are 2 huge no-goes when you are waking up, and people do it all the time, okay? The number 1 thing that you should not do when you wake up is going back to sleep, i.e., snoozing, okay? And the second thing is scrolling on your phone. Why? Why are these two? These are like 2 deadly sins when you wake up. Why? Number 1, if you snooze, and I'm going to tell you exactly how not to snooze and what to do instead. If you snooze, okay, for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, you are basically delaying the first step that you need to do. Basically, you wake up and you reject to start the day. You basically start your day by delaying your responsibility, your obligation, and that's not how you want to start your day. This is a day, this is basically programming yourself to delay your goals, to delay your obligations, to delay your life. So you need to stand up. But here's how to do it exactly. When you wake up, okay? First of all, here's the thing. I set my alarm before I go to sleep, right? I put it on this desk. So you can basically see my bed is right here. You can see it, right? After, right there, behind there. Okay, you see it. So it's a couple, like 2 meters, let's say. It's like 2 meters from me, right? Now, the reason why I do this is because when the alarm goes off, okay, I have to stand up. Okay, I have to stand up in order to come here and push the button to literally make this alarm stop. Okay, it's annoying, but you get used to it. Now, you did the number 1 thing. You stood up. Great. Now your blood flows. Now you can be energized. But sometimes, like today, for example, I did have a little bit less sleep than the full cycle. So I was really sleepy, and I was really, really tempted to go back to sleep, to just put another 10 minutes into my alarm and just go back to sleep. I was like, come on, like what is holding you back from doing this? But I remembered, look, here's what I did. I opened the window, right? Here's the window. I opened it. I like partially. I put on the light so it becomes bright, and then I sat down, okay? And then I closed my eyes. Okay, this is maybe kind of dangerous, okay, closing your eyes, but first of all, the light is on, fresh air is coming in, I am in a state of meditation, and I'm sitting down. Look, if you are sleepy and you feel like a fucking zombie, you don't have to force yourself to go to the bathroom. That could be dangerous. You may trip on something, whatever. Like, you don't have to force your body. You can be gentle, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to go back to sleep and go back to snooze. I opened the window, put on the lights so it's bright, and I sat down, I closed my eyes, and I just literally meditated and just sat still for like 2 minutes until my, like the whole cortex, the prefrontal cortex, which is there for like decision making, it's basically like the CEO of your brain, that he turns on and he wakes up, like the prefrontal cortex I'm talking about. And I needed some time. So I literally sat down here for like 2 minutes, and I literally felt like falling asleep. I was really asleep, but I just literally gave my body some time, gave my brain the time to process that I woke up right now, that it's bright, that it's time to wake up. Okay. So this is the first thing that you need to do. The second no go is your damn phone. Okay, do not even think about touching your phone. I don't care if you go on social media scrolling, you watching YouTube short format videos or even long form videos. Look, your brain in the first 30 to 60 minutes upon waking up, okay, is really, really sensitive of any dopamine hits. And all of these dopamine hits from the phone, from watching videos, from watching short form videos, from listening to music, these types of dopamine are unnatural and they are not natural to the body. They are artificial to us, okay? You don't have short form content in nature, right? So here is the thing. When you do that, right, when you go to sleep, your brain literally resets your entire baseline of dopamine. And this is why this point is so important. So listen up. Everybody needs to know this. If you are literally waking up, and I know people, upon waking up, they crave everything: music, short form videos. They need to listen to music, they need to do something, they need to go and have this huge meal, they need to sugary, especially sugary food. This is all dopamine. Don't think that if you wake up you're hungry. You're not hungry. Believe me, you're not hungry. You are just craving dopamine. You need music because you want to feel awake. No, you are craving dopamine. Believe me. You are basically, if when you go to sleep, you are resetting your dopamine levels to near zero. And when you wake up, you're really sensitive about any dopamine, and any dopamine that you experience in those first 30 to 60 minutes will push your baseline to an unnatural artificial level. Why? Because you're really sensitive. Now you can imagine what happens if you push your baseline to this point, right? Which is really unnatural because you were just in a sensitive state where you were sensitive to dopamine. Your entire day, you will feel cravings and urges to scroll on Instagram, to get dopamine, to eat junk food, to listen to music all the time. All these things that crave dopamine, you will need that. Why? Because your baseline is here. You pushed your baseline to the limit because you literally can't go any further than that. You can't push your dopamine more than pushing your dopamine in the morning, in the first few minutes after waking up. If you do that, that is detrimental for the next 24 hours until you go to sleep. You will feel like you can't do normal human tasks. You can't work out. You can't focus on a task. You can't do deep work. So that is really important that you do not touch any dopamine, whatever it may be, for the first 30 to 60 minutes. That is so, so, so crucial, you guys. You don't know how important that is. So after the 60 minutes, I don't care what you do, okay? You can watch long form content, you can watch YouTube shorts, I don't care. But believe me, you will be much more productive just by not getting into these cravings for the first 30 to 60 minutes. Make sure that when you wake up, you are getting on the lights, getting fresh air, okay? Closing your eyes, sitting down, getting the whole adrenaline, the cortisol, the stuff, let it cool down for like 2 minutes. Do not touch your phone and just go to the bathroom, freshen up, cleanse yourself, okay? Wash your face, do everything, skincare, whatever you want to do. And then I personally go and I pray immediately. You need to set this baseline. The first thing you do in the morning needs to be the prayer. And I don't care. If you are not religious, you can meditate, you can stretch, you can do all these different types of things, but that should be the first thing you do. Prayer, meditation, stretching, these are the three things that you should choose from when it comes to the first activity you do. And after that activity, for like the first 20 minutes of your day, go and do the most important task you want to do and you want to get done. Okay, that is crucial. That is crucial. So this goes into the topic of deep work, which I'm not going to get into. However, I think I made it really clear that if you master those first 30 to 60 minutes, you literally don't have to be disciplined the entire day after, because everything is going to flow your way. Believe me, try it. Okay. Next, before you go to sleep, this exact thing that we just talked about, like waking up, pushing the button, sitting down, putting on the lights, opening the windows, sitting down, meditating, going to the bathroom, all of this, right? This should be in your mind and you should rehearse it before you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, repeat at what time you're going to wake up. You need to program your mind literally. Okay, don't laugh. Don't laugh. You need to program your mind and say, I am going to wake up. I intend to wake up at 5:30 a.m. And the first thing I do after waking up is I put on the lights, I open up the window for fresh air. I may sit down for 2 minutes to let meditate and let this whole waking up cortisol lower, and then I will go to the bathroom. If you feel like I'm telling you, before you go to sleep, you're programming yourself, and you're programming. Think about what. Just ask yourself this question before you go to sleep. Ask yourself, what is the first thing you do upon waking up? And your brain needs to answer exactly this rehearsal. I'm going to wake up, push the button, open the windows, put on the lights, sit down for 2 minutes, go to the bathroom. This should be a rehearsal. This should be like, you should know this on the top of your head, okay? You should clearly rehearse before going to bed. I'm totally serious, okay? I'm totally serious. You should rehearse how you're going to wake up. Now, the last tip, again, I already talked about this a little bit, is about the right morning activities. When you wake up and you go to the bathroom and you do your skincare, you wash your face, you wash your body, you freshen up, you do your skincare, whatever you want to do, you go and you make sure that you hydrate properly. Okay, I personally drink electrolytes upon waking up, after the bathroom. I drink electrolytes. I make sure that I'm hydrated, okay? And then I immediately jump to my prayer, my night prayer and my morning prayer at the same time. And if you are non-religious, again, you can meditate, you can stretch. The reason why I personally love the Salah is because it has mobility stretches. In the morning, you should do mobility stretches, by the way. If you want to do stretching in the morning, do mobility stretching instead of like this classical hold stretching. You know what I mean? Like if you hold a position to stretch out literally, that's a different type of stretching than mobility stretching. Mobility stretching is when you move your body, and that's the way you basically kind of like change the temperature of your body. So the thing I love about Salah is you literally have everything working together. You fixate on one point in prayer, your mind is focused, you're reciting, you're thinking about this recitation, which is just like a mantra. Like literally when people meditate, right, they have a mantra that they repeat. We recite the prayer and we recite the verses of the Quran, and we are literally thinking about God in this prayer about Allah. And you have the mind that is focused, you have the body that is still, you have the mobility stretches when you bow, when you prostrate, you go up and down, mobility stretching basically. Yeah, it just, you have the mind, the body, the soul. I love it. Okay, that's why I don't stretch in the morning. I don't do mobility stretches or meditation. I literally just do my prayer because it had all three of those activities in one. Basically, it's three in one, basically. But again, if you're non religious and you want to meditate, you want to mobility stretch, you are welcome to do so. And after that activity, I would personally recommend to do the most important task, that is your personal project. Don't care about anyone telling you, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you do this, or any work that you, or mails that you have to answer? This time, for me personally, it's until sunrise, is just for me, for my personal project, for my work that I do. And believe me, you're going to be able to concentrate and focus, because you didn't spend the first 60 minutes with scrolling on your phone, with being lazy, with snoozing. Okay, don't start your day this way. And I hope you follow the holy scrolls of waking up. And I promise you, if you take these rules seriously, your days, your mornings, and your days will never be the same. Literally. And if you don't take any of that advice, take number 3, the 2 no-goes upon waking up. Do not touch your phone and do not snooze. And that alone will change your life. Literally. Thank you. If you watched until this, I really think that you will enjoy this video too. And as always, may peace and blessings be upon you guys. I hope that you all achieve your dreams and goals and be productive. And we'll see us in the next one. Let's go. Bow.